Hey guys, it's Kate, Zen Cat Vintage, and we are at the thrift store, and it is the first week of November, and so we all know what that means. Christmas is officially here. It has exploded all over the store. So that's where we're going to start. First thing I am checking out is this cute little handmade sort of bits and hardware truck. And then I pick up this reproduction putz house. I knew pretty much right away looking at it that it wasn't going to be a vintage one, but I do always like to double check them because if you didn't know, some of the putz houses go for crazy money. So it's definitely worth my time to always just double check. And the reproduction ones are kind of cute if you're just going for that look. This handmade, hand-beaded Christmas tree brooch was a cool find. It's hard to find sort of unique Christmas jewelry, I think. You see a lot of the same stuff, so I did really like that one. And looking over the shelves, I'm realizing how much stuff they've actually gotten out from the end of October to now early November is pretty impressive. They have 2 full sections in this store, and I did take the time to have a look through. I didn't find anything super killer, didn't find anything, really to rave about, but it was awesome looking through everything. Started to get me all excited for Christmas. I love a glass flower frog, but that one did have a chip. If you were looking to just have one to use, it was only 99 cents, which is a really good deal because they can go for quite a bit more than that, even at the thrift stores. And moving on to a different section, this little book is so unusual. I've never heard of it, never seen it before. It's from the 1980s. It's called Cinderella Chant, and it's basically a poetic retelling of the Cinderella story with a total 80s vibe. The illustrations in it are very, very cool. I'm doing the tap test on this piece here. This is one of those little like wall shelf things. It had quite a few chips and stuff on it, and it was like a plastic coated foam. So this set of cups and saucers, I've never seen this before. This is Chestnut by Franciscan. I can't remember how much they were priced at. I want to say $2.99 a set. I don't think there's a ton of resale value, but they were a really nice quality set. And I'm always a sucker for vintage tins, but this one had quite a bit of rust on the bottom. And it had 2 tags on it, but obviously the one for $2.99 I think was someone's handiwork, and it was actually priced at $6.99, which for my resale purposes I wasn't feeling on that particular tin. I really liked the shape and color of this studio pottery piece, but it had a really like washed out, worn, finished look to it. So I think someone may have actually run it through the dishwasher. Here is a little house. I knew that it wasn't a David Winter, but I was thinking for crafty stuff, but I ended up leaving it. It was broken. And I really need to ease off of buying so much stuff for crafting purposes because I haven't crafted in months. I really liked that perfume bottle, but the spire at the top of the stopper was completely chipped and broken, so that was unfortunate, but it was a very cool bottle. Then moving on to this end cap here. So obviously someone's pig collection was donated, and I'm a sucker for figurines, so I took the time to look through all the pigs and really mull over and make sure I was making the best possible choices as to which ones I had to buy. I was disappointed that this little guy here, this is actually one of the Artisania Rinconata pieces. You can probably see he's got all sorts of like white marks on him, which were actually little chips all over his body. So he had to stay, but this ironwood pig definitely did not have to stay. He's really nicely carved. He was only $2.99, and apart from like a little scuff on his tail and a little scuff on his side there, he's actually in really good condition. No breaks or anything. So I was super happy to add that piggy to my collection / inventory. In this section here, I was drawn to this hula girl. Last time I was at this store, they had a whole bunch of like dolls. That might be residual from that, but she was very cool. And this little guy I had to check out because I don't know if anyone's heard of Club Penguin. It was a huge thing like back in the early 2000s. My daughter used to play the game, and there's like a die-hard fan base for Club Penguin, and some of the things resell for crazy money. That was actually just like a Claire's thing. I think it was like a Club Penguin knockoff or like a precursor to it. But I did want to double check because that's what the penguins look like. I really loved this glass lidded sort of like apothecary style jar almost. It was really unfortunate a lot of the gold was worn, especially on the top, because I totally would have gotten that. It was like a frosted satin glass with the red birds, the gold detailing, and there was a matching decanter, which was missing its stopper. They were priced at $4.99 each. Really nice decorative pieces. And then this pig, I was really disappointed because he has this huge crack in the bottom, and he's also missing his like stopper, which would have been more like a locking key mechanism. But he's a Rob doll, made in France. They made lots of different like housewares and decorative things like that. And he was only priced at $1.99, that pig. I liked the look on those little glass bottles there. They were actually a part of a sake set. There was a bunch of little glasses in a different section to go with the two bottles. And this teapot was so cool, and I was crushed to instantly see that little chip on the handle and then the chip on the bottom, because these can go for good money. This is London Pottery. Can't remember who designed this particular one, but they make some really cool teapots, and some of their teapots have really, really good resale value. So at $4.99, had that not been broken, I think it was $4.99, that would have been a no-brainer. There were some really good comps on that piece. I was really drawn to the pattern of these teacups, and I'd never heard of this company before, Bida Soa, Bida Soa. It's a Spanish company. Never heard of it. But they have some really cool patterns. And then this one is called, it's Tudor Dinnerware, but it's actually made by Meakin, Alfred Meakin, not J.G. Meakin. And such a cool Art Deco vibe. I honestly really wanted to get some, but don't think the resale value is that great on those particular pieces. And I couldn't find a lot about it. So at $4.99 a cup and saucer, I did end up leaving them. So then it's back to the Christmas section, because I just can't resist. Looking over these bits and pieces here, I find another pig. Two pigs in the pigsty. This one was $1.99, same sort of like ironwood, really heavy wood. And then bam, right there is this little Balique vase. This is Irish porcelain. Balique is like super famous. And some of the stuff is worth a lot of money. They do some really high-end stuff, and then they do like more sort of like common pieces. That one's pretty common, but still nice resale value on it for, I think it was $2.99. And I loved this advent calendar here. It was missing one of the roof panels, which I'm thinking in hindsight I probably could have fixed pretty easily, but it was priced at, yeah, $7.99. And another pig. You know, this one had to come home with me too. I actually have a cat that is the same style as this. It's orange, same weird little like squiggly eyes. So I guess I have a collection of those now. So 3 pigs in my pigsty. And just before I headed to the cashier, I realized that they had all these bagged ornaments hanging on the end of some of the clothing racks. So I spent a good 15 minutes going through all these bags. There were some really, really cool ones. I honestly had to restrain myself. I pulled probably about 6 bags off that I was like, oh, there's so many cool ornaments in here, I'm going to grab them. And I had to stop and reset, and I ended up putting most of them back. because I personally don't need more Christmas ornaments. And that's what would have happened. I would have ended up keeping most of them. And then I'm looking at things like, oh, there's crafting. There was a little Dumbo in there. That bag was priced at $4.99, and I couldn't really justify it for resale, but lots of really cool Christmas stuff out. So that's, I think, where we're going to wrap up, and hopefully you stay tuned and enjoy the haul. See all of the goodies that I actually brought home.